Good afternoon, actually. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Australia, and I'm here sharing an idea I'm having right now. I don't know if it's anyone there because this is a late night stream that I usually don't do. I usually don't stream this late. But well, that is the first time for everything, I guess. But when you're inspired, you have to do something about it. And in this case, is this. Hello, Bones. How are you doing? Hello. How are you doing, Bones? How was your day? Well, your night. How was it? Everything okay over there? Everything fine? I hope it is. Long time no see. By the way, don't think I forgot our conversation, our last conversation on the oh my god, my brain on the thingy on the Discord. Yes, indeed. It is morning actually. I know. So how did the night went? How did the night went? How did your last day of the weekend went? Professor just arrived. Go. Pay attention in class. Taking the psychoanalysis is the superior form of psychology. Just to spice things up. Okay, right there. Professor just arrived. Send him my regards. I say to him, the Sigmund Freud was right all along, and is the best. Is the pinnacle psychological analysis. Don't say him that. Who knows what school he follows? You don't want to win an enemy. Oh, that's so sweet, Bo. That's so sweet. That's sweet. You're not feeling well right now? Oh. Don't worry. If you want, we can talk whenever you're able. I'm actually able like 24/7. So if you ever need to talk, you have a little like chat as we used to do. We can have it again. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Everything will be right. Everything will be all right. Yeah. We can totally just talk shenanigans. Have fun again. I know you can stay here for a bit. Which of course brings me to today's like weird hour stream, let's say. I was like plotting in my head all day long. Thinking of ideas and how to like it's doing great. At least in my head it's doing great. So I was doing, if you remember, like this thing in the morning. All of this thing over here. I was going to be like a guide of like to how to create a sort of like city or something like that. Well, in my head, this idea is still going strong, but with a little caveat, with an addition, and that is I want to gamify it by making it basically pen and paper RPG or tabletop RPG or well, like maybe web-based RPG. I'm not sure how to do it. How to like create the whole like organization of the game itself. But it should be a game where you are living in a fantasy city state, like a fantasy city. You can put whatever setting you want in, and you need to like try to achieve a legacy according to what your family wants to do in the nation. So you will be playing probably against another player, at least one or a lot of it. Not coding, no. That's the thing. I was thinking about making it a video game, but then I realized it was a big project, so big in fact that I was probably not going to finish it, or I was going to leave it in the middle, like I was going to just drop it because it was going to be like burning my hands. But what happens? When you're a creative, you need to know your own limitations. My limitation is coding. So unless I find someone who wants to do coding or teach me, because I could have a teacher, I will keep it simple. Not simple in the sense of complexity of the game, but simple in the sense that what I will do now, maybe I will go later, who knows, But what I want to have first is a playable game, at least on paper, with no automatic system, but actually with, human beings involved. So I want to actually have a game, like set, done, and ready to play. It might not be a video game per se, but it's a game, and it will be a game. You will need Dungeons and Dragons dice, obviously, D20, mostly. I want to keep the Tabletop Banner exclusive. Indeed. Tabletop Banner exclusive game. Indeed. That would be like the idea. So I want to create that and even have a gaming session in the manner once the game is like completely like set with all the rules and all like the ideas and stuff, because it could really benefit from Discord DMs and Discord like let's say like interactions, because one could like really create a big game out of it. That one, your tiger explodes. Totally, that could happen. The idea is that you have the dungeon master, that it's called in this case I want to say the Clock of History, or maybe it will be named the Wheel of History. One or the two. The Wheel of History is badass. It sounds like badass. So it will be like the Wheel of History. Who will like oversee the activities and work as the force of nature and as different like, let's say like antagonist to the exactly Narrator of Fate. Oh, that one is cool too. Yes. Narrator of Fate. Oh yes, boss. Yes indeed. Yes, I love that one. Yes. Note it down. Write it down. So this will be like, I will tell you how a game will go, for example. You will start, each of you, in one of the nations that you create with this chart. There will be a number of offices of power that you could be like taking care of. Each of the players will have a family, like a dynasty or a clan or whatever they want to call it, and they will have it, and I will try to make it like intricate and complex, and maybe like have a set of rules that each like game could have. Like for example, you can turn on certain aspects of the game to like tailor the experience to a more like simple game or more complex game. But in this case, I will say you have sorry. Oh my god. You have like basically one of the, the government that you have, okay? Republic, monarchy, theocracy, oligarchy, whatever. And all of those have like a number of offices in the power structure that will take care of justice, cult, treasury, leadership, and the military, okay? Each of the players can, like, with the character they control, occupy one of these positions, one of the offices. That could have even like a duplicate, so there are 2 guys of justice or even 3 and stuff like that. And according to whatever they're doing, what is going to be like each turn their salary or what actions they can take to either further their own personal goals or to improve the city in certain aspects. So for example, the cult can deal with public unrest and administer all sacred things, or not. Why do I say or not? Because even if reaching stability 0 will actually trigger a game over, because the city devolves into chaos and anarchy, and basically nobody has power, and the city will be abandoned because of it's a failed state. So everybody for themselves. Maybe your cult leader in this, like the cult leader is not like a cult, I mean like the religious head of the city, might not like any of the other players taking an office. So they may be like let's say like saying that someone is illegitimate, or it's a sinner, or it's not seen, like it's not well seen by the gods. So you will have it like undermine the other one's positions. Okay, see you later, Bones. You have a probability to get paid more. Indeed. Yes, I know. But thank you, Bones. Best of luck with your class. I hope you have a good class. Don't worry about it. We will talk later. Don't worry. And have a good class. Pay attention. Have fun. So yeah, that would be like the whole like idea, and all of these other aspects will tie up to the whole like, the whole like setting and what you can do and what you can't do according to this. So it will be like a lot of things, and legacies are things that characters can control in a sense. So they might want to actually like improve certain stats in their like turns instead of like taking an action against another family or against the city itself. And when I say against, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be a positive activity against the city. The city needs to react to the activity. That's why I say like an activity against the city, which is actually like cool. For example, according to my thing, you could like a character will have a different stat that could go well with whatever. So you will have like justice will be like, let's say like knowledge gold will be like devotion, treasury will be like administrative thing, and so forth. Every character will have one of these traits, and well, amount of trait number. From a max, I will say from 1 to 20 maybe. And that will determine how difficult it is for each of the characters to actually take certain actions or certain roles inside the government, which will be like really cool. So, and this is all like human thing, because like I say, I can't code for the life of me for now. So I will actually turn it into a little like game, and it could have like more complexities of rules that one can turn on and off. It's like addendums, let's say, extra like steps or extra like objectives that you could have. I'm thinking, for example, of creating a sub like a whole culture mechanic. The culture mechanic will be like certain, I don't know if archetypes, but actually like certain traits that each character with a different culture could have. So you can have a city that has multiple cultures, and you can try to foster your own culture in order to create unrest in case like the government is not following your culture. You can try to convert to another culture, and it's going to be like more like in depth if you go for that. But it's something that's gonna be like interesting, okay? Because even if you are playing and you are like having a bad moment in the sense of like stability is going down and corruption is going up or stuff like that, new options will be available to the players. For example, if stability is less than 25%, you could start like trying to overturn other players out of their office, or even like completely cripple another family's social standard, or even like completely crippling another family's like character, killing off the other person's character with an assassination attempt and stuff. And all of that will be like part of the justice and all of that thing. It's going to be like interesting. I'm ironing out the details in my head. That will be the whole idea. So, having said all of that, let's continue. The game can end in a number of things. Even some endings might be anticlimactic, but the whole thing is that history is anticlimactic sometimes. It's like it can go into a bang, or it can go into a whisper, or it can go into a grandiose awakening of something. Who knows? So, what I want to do is to put like right now a couple of bullet points. One will be players play a family head. And must let's say further their own goals. Yes. Oh, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that window. So Players control, not play. It's redundant. Control a family head and must further their own goals. Each turn, the players can take different actions. According to their personal traits, and each turn the player can take different actions according to their wealth, personal traits, position of power they occupy, they control. Each turn, the players can take different actions according to their wealth, personal traits, position of power they control, and at the same time, do a subterfuge action. There we go. Each time the player can take different actions according to their wealth, personality. No, actually, personal trait. Personal trait, position of power they control, and at the same time do a subterfuge action. Each player subterfuge action. Each turn. Each turn, the players must roll a fortune check. And depending on the result. Result? Yeah, result. Depending on the result, take a car. Why is that every time I hope the YouTube side voice is leaving? Oh no! Savage, welcome to the stream. Hello. How are you doing? Hello, Savage. How are you doing? Everything okay over there? Hello. I saw that Kim is doing a 12-hour stream. Oh, that goat is crazy. I couldn't be up 12 hours no matter what. I might just hop up and say hi. I will hop up into the stream of them and just say hi. Why not? Why not? Where is Kim? Let me say Kim. Oh, is the stream actually? I will look at it the whole time. Did they actually like finish the stream right now? No. Ah well. Yes, they did actually. Yeah. I think. Huh. There. Yep, I'm gonna do this. They're gone. Damn it. I wanted to say hi. Oh well, what are we gonna do? Oh well, what are we gonna do? Okay, so let me just. Oh my god. And how did it went? The Kim stream. What were they doing? What are they doing? 12-hour stream. I don't know what I. I already have like travels focusing more than 4 hours. Kim goes out and does 12 hours. I'm preparing Matis, so if you see me like looking down, it's because of that. It's because I'm preparing the Matis. Delicious Matis. Best thing ever. Nothing better than a Matis. Oh, so. And well, at the end of each turn, or at the beginning, well, at the end, it's the same. Apart from most of the time, the mic are perfect. At the start actually of each turn. The players must roll a fortune check, and depending on the result, take a fortune or misfortune card. A random event. City must do city, so Dungeon Master, DM, must do same for the city. Go. Yes, must do the same for the city. There we go. That's awesome. That's how it will go. The subject for action, and the subject for action, by the way, could be a no action, if law inclined, for example. If you don't want to do a subject for action because you are like the good guy, you will not do any subject for action. But regardless of that, it will be like listen, this is how it works, okay? Like my idea. Just start the game, the setting is set up for you, and you will like have like the whole scenario set up for you by the DM. And you will introduce your family and what their specialty is according to your character sheet that we will create later. Yeah, family sheet, I would say, more than character sheet, because, well, you will actually have a family and a character sheet. It's like I have a lot of work to do here, but I love it. The thing is that players will like control the family head. Players control each family head and must further their own goals. So you have you Savage from the assassin family, control Savage the first, and your goal was in a random pile that you can grab up to 3 and then discard 2 and choose 1. And your goal was to basically make the city descend into anarchy. Like, that is your whole thing, let's say. So all your actions will further public unrest, corruption, and stuff like that in order to, like, each turn, like, put more pressure in the city until it falls apart. And when it falls apart, the city actually, it triggers a dead over. A game over for everyone. But if you had that, like that goal, you will actually win the game. Like, you will actually be like the winner. And the whole idea of this is to create a game where you will be playing in a political landscape with people backstabbing each other depending on their goals and depending on the rule set that you choose to follow, because I want to do like a lot of like, let's say, like addendums to the thing, let's say like DLC that actually expand the universe. You could have more goals for you to pick, and more mechanics on the back. For example, I have a whole idea of let's say like an optional thing that you can turn on or off that is about culture, basically. You could follow the city culture or be an outsider with a different culture, or your goal might as well be have like 90% of the population turn into your own culture, but take in consideration that having like a culture that is like the population follows, that more than half of the population of the city follows. The population of the city is like an abstract number. It's all about percentages. Like, it's not necessarily like a fixed number, but it has like a lot of like implications of how many people are and how will interact with other like stats of the city and the players. The thing is that in this case, if you have like the whole like, let's say the city. God damn, I completely forgot. But the thing is that, the culture of the city is 50% predominant of one particular culture. Or, well, culture / religion, they both come hand in hand. We could say religion in this case. Culture and religion always come hand in hand in every single story. In every single, like, culture and religion go hand in hand. It's a little complex. I will tackle that in another moment. Maybe we can have a different thing for culture and religion. That would be cool. Like 2 different like settings that you can turn on and off in the rule set. The thing is that if you have more than half following, like being of a certain culture group or being of a certain religion, the amount of people that are occupying like positions of power that are not in said culture group will create society friction, and the society friction will actually be like a modifier that will actually like escalate the amount of instability that the city gains each turn, that those people in power are not converting into another culture. And even converting into another culture could have a downside for the family, for the dynasty that chooses to convert to the culture that is now hegemonic on the place. First and foremost, the more powerful families they are in a certain culture group, the more that culture group has like, the more it diffuminates in the city, one would say, like with a modifier, like for example, number of families equal, let's say there are 3 players, 2 follow one culture, the other one don't. Well, those 2 will actually add the amount of like, 1 is normal, then each member that follows that same culture will have a 5% on the amount of culture and expansion inside the city state, something like that. So yeah, it's like an integrate game and an integrate like simulation. Simulation. That's my whole idea. And we have an ad going on the Twitch style thing, but they're not Savage. If you're there, you can go to the other place. You know, I didn't say anything. Probably you have both open. The thing is that that's how it would work if you have the culture set turned on, because there is already a lot of things to do, like even in the base game. My head, obviously, everything is in my head. I'm trying to write it down, of course. So I will continue now with the whole writing thing. Do the same for the city, and pick from let's say like the good or bad times deck. Well, no bad time. Let's say and pick a card from the crisis or the let's say abundance times deck. There we go. Crisis or abundance. There we go. That's like 2 different decks. So, for example, this is how it would go. Everybody like starts the game, and each of them have to roll a d20. Depending on the fortune of each character, that it will be a stat. Like that will like affect basically if you need to take a fortune or a misfortune card. Maybe you will not need to take any, and your game will just follow normally because you were like lucky or unlucky enough to not have to take any. So, for example, player A and player B roll their dice. One of them take the misfortune and the other one has a fortune one. The fortune one takes a fortune card from the desk. And this fortune card will be like, for example, your, let's say like, one of your family members writes a lauded poem or a famous rhetoric or something like that. For the next 5 turns, you will get a bonus to certain actions and stuff like that. And misfortune event for the other player will be like, for example, the player had like a, like takes out the card and it says something like, your fortune, the sources of your fortune are going through a bad time because of a fire, drug, or whatever, and thus you are actually losing like a lot of like you're like having a minus to your income, let's say. No, well, My wife just woke up. Hello. Yeah, I like to sleep. I tried to wake you up 2 times, but you were so... How you feel? What are you gonna do? You're sleepy, okay. Can I ask? You want to come and discuss the game with me later? I'm creating a tabletop game. Yes? Yeah. Yay. My wife is going to go. Very well. So that's how it would going to go. Luckily, I have like a lot of ideas for the decks. So because I have read so much history. Oh my god. And then we could have like an occult and religious like addendum like card deck and set. It would be super cool because that would be like super interesting. I want to create like the base game first to have something done and then like go into the extra ones like let's say religious, supernatural, and the other stuff. That would be super cool. My only problem is that I don't have well, I have actually my wife. She could be doing the art for the cards. That would be super cool. I have all of this set and done, luckily for me. Oh yes, I have an idea for the age of the settlement. That could be like this could be like a modifier for the cultural cohesion. That would be super cool. Yes. Perfect. Very well. So wait, player control. Wait, I should actually create another one actually and start with the players create dynasty / clans / family. But it is going to be simplified in the future, or maybe not. Damn it, this doesn't look intimidating. I know. It looks intimidating, but don't worry. It's like all the machinations going like behind the whole thing, and all the let's say like the complex things. It's actually going to be more like a card game, and yeah, it will be like a lot of mathematics involved, like any Dungeons and Dragons game. Right? It's like a lot of, a lot of like. Oh my god, you make X amount of damage, but he has an armor which produces the damage to this and stuff like that. It will be like the same thing. The only thing, the thing is that you need to brain out the whole like system in order for someone to learn it and then apply it. The good thing about this though is that because I'm creating all of like this in a blank slot of lore, I could say, you could really create like any setting you want, like a steampunk city or a medieval city or a cyberpunk city or whatever you want, because everything will work. Like the rule set is not set necessarily for like let's say a certain setting, a medieval setting or something like that. I could create specific cards for like each setting. In the sense of like cards, I mean like the city of the fortune thing and all of that. I create like a certain like set of cards to have like different flavors and stuff. But I can create like let's say a vanilla one that is more like vague on the terminology, so it will be more up to the DM, to the dungeon master, to actually like put into words what is going on really in the background. Or, damn it, or I could create like later, because that will be for later, specific settings cards. So you could have different things going on, which would be really cool if you think about it. So, player create a dynasty, clan, family, and their current, because they will die. Characters will die in this game a lot, and you need to reshuffle them. It's like your character dies, well, then you create a new character really quickly, like super quickly. Because it will be like a simplified, like, way of creating a character, I will say. And that's how it will go real quickly. I will try to see a way to streamline the whole process. Probably just by throwing dice and just having like the character sheets, like the character itself being like super like simplistic in nature, but with a lot of implications on gameplay, let's say. So, please create an active clan family. So you choose there like the assets and the prosperity of the said assets and stuff like that, and their current family head. That will be like the main character you're playing as. After that, players will be given three. What was the name I was saying with this one? It would be like three. I love when they do that in things. 3 legacy cards, or legacy or ambition. I'm trying to think about it. Ambition / legacy cards. I will say why legacy is a name that I'm thinking to put it. They can choose one and must discard the other 2. There we go. That's how it will go. They could be repeated, by the way, so you could have like 2 characters going for the same outcome in a sense. It could even be like a down roll spiral, but in the case of like, if I would put like the rule, I think if you have 2 players, you can only have in your like legacy deck 1 card of each goal, and in the case that you have 3 players, you can have 2 of each, and in the case you have 4 players, you can have 3 of each, like repeated. So, for example, you could be in a situation when 1 player is trying to, let's say, take over the government completely, like having all the positions of power occupied by their family members. Family members will be like NPCs that have like a worse time, like doing their thing in the government, but you control them directly, so you can take actions from an office that you are not currently personally holding. And holding personally an office could be even like something negative for you if it's not your forte. So you might want to put someone else in charge. For example, you manage to secure the office of government of like the leader of the army or something like that, but you do not have like, your character is not martial inclined. You could set up a family member there, throw a dice, throw a d20, and see let's say the efficiency of said family member that you put there, and they take decisions according to that, with obviously like a debuff to every throw depending on the effect, how effective is your family member in said position. And even you need to like throw a dice where it's like a wild dice, because you can totally say like a family member to like be in line and follow what you're saying, but if they do not, then the dungeon master will actually, let's say, have to throw a dice, and according to that dice, it will like increase or decrease corruption in the government or something like that. And corruption is like a stat that is going up and down depending on the actions of players. It will be really cool. Indeed, it will be really cool. They can choose 1 and must discard the other 2. In case of more than 2 players. Oh, what the frick? 2 players. The deck can have repeated cards. Repeated cards. Plus 1 of plus 1 more. One. I love to do this on 1 more of each for every extra player. There we go. Aha. There we go. There we go. Very well. Very well, very well, very well, very well. So, players create a dynasty, clan, family, and their current family head. Throwing the 20s to determine the. Oh my god! I need to click this. The assets, the family assets. Family assets and family assets, current legal and illegal wealth. I will go into detail into that later. Current legal and illegal wealth. And currently held offices, if any, because you could have a game where the starting, like we said, illegal wealth. This is the thing about illegal wealth, okay? The subterfuge actions that each player can take at the end of each turn can be either founded with your legal wealth or with your illegal wealth. The illegal wealth and the legal wealth is a number that only you know. But the thing is that if, for example, you send a group of, like, let's say, hooligans, let's be like hooligans into the temple to desecrate it, so you will create a crisis on the cult, like, on the guy who is in the cult, and the cult in the office of the cult. So you create like this scandal. If you found that scandal with your legal funds, the chances of you being discovered after the fact of the illegal deed either succeed or not. And if it didn't succeed, you even have more chances of discovered. And if you are discovered, it will be like, let's say, a stain in your family for a long time. And whoever holds the justice office could get you in jail, executed, or just let you go with a little like, hey, you misbehave, bad. But that will create so much stability in the city because it's like a big deal when someone does something illegal, let's say. But that's the thing. Every single character will have the opportunity to create alliances with other characters, or even to just like screw around. That's my whole idea. But if you found the, let's say, like the subterfuge action of your turn with your illegal funds, then you will be able to actually, get away with it. Either the plot is discovered and stopped, or the plot goes forward and succeeds. Either way, you will have less chances of being tracked down because you have used wealth that is off the radar. So nobody can track it down so easily. And the thing is, like, each time a subterfuge action takes place, the one who's holding the justice office, or characters that are holding the justice office, it could be more than one, can choose to investigate or not. It depends, really, because if it succeeds, they can either investigate deeply into the matter or investigate and just like rush it off like as nothing, like typical corruption system. Or you get, and that's the thing. Why do I say, like, when I say like you can put another family member into a position of power, it's because of this. If you have, for example, your character is not good at law enforcement or whatever, like your character is not very good at law, so you decided to, instead of putting yourself in the justice department of the state, you put someone else. You put a cousin. Say you put a cousin, and he's really good at his job, and like you can choose this. Like this is chosen by the DM, because when you like decide to put someone else in the place, because you can only have one, you can only occupy one office at a time, but you can send your family to do the other things. You just put like another person. So you throw a dice, and according to set numbers, it will be like the corruption of your family member, like the amount of corruption your family member is like willing to do, or their integrity, and their efficiency at said job. So, for example, and their loyalty to you too, like loyalty to the city or to you, depends on your dice throw. So you can put a family member and suddenly have like someone who is completely against your plans on the long run. The thing is that if you actually manage to, let's say, you are a subterfuge guy, you just send a group of dogs to actually like kill another character, and you do that, okay? And then, well, the plot is not discovered, let's say, but it goes into fruition and it goes well. The DM will ask, this has happened, what will the justice, what would you, the head of justice, order, in this case, your family member that is currently held in the position to do? Are you going to whisper them, investigate, or are you going to say to them, don't do shit? And that is actually a secret action. You have a card that you will actually send to the DM, and then it will roll a dice, and you will see what happens. If you choose to like say to your family member one or the other, depending on, of course, your family members' like loyalty to you, if they're going to follow the order or not, and depending on other statistics, if they are actually going to, what is the next action after they have decided to follow your advice or not. For example, you ordered the freaking deal. You ordered the assassination of another player's character that succeeded. Very well. Then, you now need to like, hey, you need to say your family member that is in the justice thing to investigate, like to do the investigation wrong, like to fuck the investigation, like try to lead everything to nothing, right? So the DM will throw a dice depending on your family member alliance to you, like loyalty to you. They will decide to follow your steps or not, and then depending on the corruption level and all of that, depending on the whole ordeal, because the dungeon master has knowledge of what has happened and how it works, that character will have to do a throw deciding which action to take, or how the outcome of his action like takes place. If they decide to not investigate the assassination, they can come up with an excuse. If the excuse is good enough, they could say like they made a thorough investigation and find nothing, and the other players are gonna be like, God damn it. Or it could be like, it's common knowledge that this judge actually did a terrible job on the thing and hide hidden proofs and everything, so it's like out there. So the legitimacy of whoever is held in that position will be totally damaged to the point other players can try to overthrow him, or his legitimacy is going to be, and also the stability of the nation as a whole will crumble. Basically, we have like a minus a lot of number, but the crime goes unpunished. Nobody knows who did it, but everyone knows who did it actually, because hey, the guy fumbled the investigation so badly. It's like so badly, and everybody knows that it was made on purpose. But if the character that you put in the office decided to suddenly go rogue and be like, I'm going to investigate regardless of my family's like intentions or my family's orders, it will have like a bonus to actually finding who did the deed, and it will actually have a bonus to actually like who is like, if he doesn't do the investigation right or he doesn't find any leads, it will be like he tried his best. Like that's what the dungeon master would say. He tried his best, but he failed. His legitimacy will still be damaged, but not so much, and stability will go down a little bit. That's how the whole cookie crumbles, let's say. That's for one of them, right? One of the actions. have a plate. Thank you. Thank you, honey. So that's how it's going to be. It's like, can you see, like, it's like a complex game, but at the same time, it's like you are just taking actions. It's like a lot of luck, because I love games based on luck, because history is, after all, a succession of good luck and bad luck for certain people. This is delicious. Thank you. It's the best sandwich ever. We should take our pills too. I love you. Do you want me to prepare something? Well then, I guess we're gonna go to a pause of 30 minutes. We have to cook. What do you want to eat? Spaghetti. Pasta. Well, pasta will be. Okay, Savage, I'm gonna need to go into a pause of 30 minutes because I have to cook for my beloved wife who is sick. There's all the love in the world. So, let's put that 30, 30 minutes, 45 now. 30 minutes. No, I can 45 minutes. Oh my god, it's going to be like, I could actually just like end the stream and start it over again. But no. Let me just put a timer. So we're gonna go into a pause of 30 minutes because I need to go and cook for my beloved wife. And I love her so much. Best. I need myself to come up with something that time, but I will try. Okay. And so I will now go into that, and I have well, basically the game is all set in my head, as you can see. The thing is to put it in the paper, so that's what we're gonna do tonight because I'm super focused, and I'm going to do that from beginning to end probably. And then I will iron out the details tomorrow morning, and we might be able to play it even, like organize a play of this one in a Discord call or something like that. That would be super cool. I might invite Ateos and company, Ateos, Kim, and other people around. That would be super cool to do, actually. I like it. I like it, Picasso. Yes, that would be cool indeed. Do like a game. Oh my god, that would be so awesome. I love it. Well, I will now go. Love you all, and I will see you in 30 minutes. Bye bye. And yeah, 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and I will be back. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. You're not super late. The one that's late is me. Hello, Brian. How are you doing? Hello, hello. Sorry for the delay. Long delay. I don't know if anyone's there yet, but hello. How are you doing? Hello, hello. I'm back. Let me just stay here in the order of the ticket thing. I'm back, kinda. In 50, yes. But let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, so. Okay. Let's see. I have been brainstorming more ideas, so the thing is still coming on fresh. The different actions are going to do well. Personality traits. Decision of power they control, and at the same time, there are going to be a no action. Taking at the start of each turn, the players must roll a fortune check, and depending on the result, they can fortune on this fortune card. event that harms or benefits the character or their go. The city, the aim must be the same for the city and pick a card from the crisis or the wilderness decks. Generic. No card depending on the outcome of the turn. Go. And well, each turn. No, I will say every five turns that amount to, let's say, 5 years. Characters can take, let's put it like they can take an important action that can shape the board for the next 5 turns. To 5 years. Select an important action. Oh, actually, characters can, let's say, make a move, like a political move, an action that can seize office. Can seize an office. Harm another family. Harm or benefit another family. So another player, say. Player. Or harm or benefit the city. There. So instead of that, the witch needs to have. It is the witch of a witch. It is amount to 5 years. Game characters can make a political, an important, I would say, important political move, if so they wish. An action that can seize an office for them or NPC or NPC. Harm or benefit another player, or harm or benefit the city itself. All depending on office the family controls and or lack thereof. Actually, we'll put more actions. More actions are available depending on the offices the family controls. There we go. That's good. That's very, very cool. Very well, very well, very well. Perfect. Perfect. Hello, Sayway. Welcome to the stream. Sorry for taking a long time. I had to cook for my beloved wife. And then we watched an episode of Fire Force, and we were watching the second one when I was like suddenly like, wait a minute, I have a stream. Oh shit. And I came back running. We are creating a kind of like an RPG, like a Dungeons and Dragons thingy, I think we would say. That's what we are creating. So I'm setting like the general, let's say like the croquis, so like the kind of like base thing of the game, I would say. And my idea is to get the game like up and running, I would say, and then make like host let's say like a game itself in the Discord server, either with you guys or maybe make a collab with Kim and Ateos and other, and Greece maybe and stuff like that. I will try to do that. I will see how it goes. It's a game completely out of my head. It's like I'm just like going crazy bananas here. I have no idea. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I have experience with this kind of games, but the thing is that it will be like my first game ever put into paper for this kind of format, because I have already done games, but the thing is that creating this game is like trying to like have the nooks and crannies, because I'm trying to like create the whole situations that the players will encounter and doing all of that in the back of my mind and creating the whole thing, blah 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 blah, etc etc etc. It's actually kind of cool. I'm doing this, so don't worry about it. And I'm doing like a lot of little things here, as you can see, like a lot of them. This is more like notes, I would say. These are like notes, disregard notes. But all of this is like super important. Is all of this shit over here super important? And I'm trying to do all of this, which is super cool. So I'm working on it. So yeah, that's a thing, which is really fucking cool. Indeed. So I'm creating like the set rules and stuff. And I will say like every 5 turns. No, actually, it's fine. It's fine. Every 5 turns, which is 5 years in game. Earn an NPC, harm or benefit on a player, harm or benefit the city itself, and actions are available depending on the office of public controls. And then I should maybe add another one for the city itself, so Dungeon Master is not idle on this time. I will say that in those 5 years, there is like a random event that could happen from time to time that the city must react against. It's not like a normal crisis, like all the turns, because crises are more like a year thing. Like for example, I don't know, sickness spreading or something like that. So we just put like a big crisis, let's say. DM must roll to check if a random let's say random big crisis will occur. For example, occur. For example, the DM rolls like after. I'm sure once we're out, if the theory phase of all the get into practice, it will find a way to exploit this. Of course, it will be happening. Of course, it will be happening. But because it's all dice, like it's all like probabilities and stuff, it's like you are always one step from failing miserably, which is what I love about dice games like Dungeons and Dragons. It's like you can have the best build ever, but a critical one could be the difference between life and death, and it's all about the dice, which is super fun. But you can totally have like a super powerful character, and then you're completely destroyed by it. Who knows? But I adore this. let's put like need to create the, let's say, big crisis. I don't know why important crisis events. The important crises are events. A random crisis will occur. For example, the crisis could be they are the big things that could happen every 5 turns, and will like set the whole thing for the rest of the turns. And some of them could even be like a doom spiral of game over guaranteed if the players don't like act for the common good, unless one of them is literally trying to destroy everything, which will be like, for example, suddenly a volcano erupts close by and the city is and there is like a, let's say let's say nuclear winter because of the ashes. So for the next 5 turns the city population will dwindle and the general like corruption and stability will grow steadily. So characters need to like try to take all the decisions to actually like try to keep the city afloat in the time of crisis, unless it will be completely destroyed. You could even say like, oh, that's right, I'm stupid here. Oh, maybe no, treasury will deal actually with commerce. So for example, let's talk about this because it's like it's a situation like a happy little situation. Let's say it's horrible what I'm about to say, but one of the options for treasury, unless the culture, let's say, expansion is on and you have a special check, will be like to, for example, the country is running low of people, so there is like a stacking like penalty to everything because there is like less manpower. And let's say because there is a drought or there is like a famine or there's like a maddening disease or something like that, or maybe it's like something like that. Well, you could like being like the treasury guy try to buy a bunch of slaves or do something like that just to like increase the amount of population constantly at the cost of stability and at the cost of course of the treasury of the state. And for example, the leadership, one of the leaders could be like the one tasked with leadership could try to like convince like barbarian tribes around them to join them so they can have like increase the numbers and stuff at cost of stability and other stuff. And so it will be like a game of like when you have this big crisis to not get the game over, I will say, to like try to solve the situation, all while they are like extra cards that can make the whole situation worse, which is super crazy bananas if you think about it. I want to create a game that is completely asymmetric in its systems. I like asymmetric gameplay when like the players don't have like a, let's say like a guaranteed way of proceed to avoid a game over. I want actually to have them mostly on luck and their own like will to try to cheat, or like try not to cheat, but to try to like save the situation doing all they can, because that's what creates drama. It's characters trying to do all they can to avoid a certain ending. And then you have probably one of your friends or one of the goal guys who's working on the game, who's working against all of you because his objective is actually like to destroy the city. And you don't know that, but he's constantly like taking tasks he sucks at, or he's constantly like undermining everything using like subterfuge in the middle of the whole shit going down. And so you will have like this interesting situation of the justice one, if it's not controlled by the same guy who's doing all the subterfuge, trying to find out who the culprit is. So it's like, that's the whole idea. It's like having this concoction of like drama and situations that can arise with all the characters having a hidden agenda or a hidden goal to reach. Yes, honey. Go and continue watching Fire Force in a moment. Or you're still sleeping? You're sleeping, you want to go to sleep then? I would recommend actually you to watch that chapter. I know where it's going. I have already seen that chapter. So I recommend you to watch till the end. I believe there are only like 5 minutes. Or maybe leave it and whatever makes you fancy. Yes. I will say go to quick, fast. Yes. I'm commanding. Sleep. Or do you want to be around? Okay, be around then. Love you. Leave people around? Tell me. Oh. Bloody Mary. I'm eating. What time? Ah, she's good. Okay, got it. In the morning? Ah, okay. Or close the door then. But I will then. Love you. What? Oh. Ah, I see. There we go. Got it. Thank you, honey. Love you. Ah, I love my wife so much. Okay, let's continue. So that's what I want to create here. It's a drama kind of like game. It's like the game of drama. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons, but more crazy bananas. Like the Dungeons and Dragons, but more crazy bananas. So yeah, that's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles. Indeed. Now, having done all of this, I think I will go quickly into just to note them down. The families, and challenges. So this will be like points. You have the let's say crumbling families. Crumbling families. It's a special kind of NPC family. It's an NPC family with no special traits. Traits? Oh my freaking god! No special traits that just occupy an office in the government until they are kicked out by the players. They are like placeholders if nobody got that office. They are placeholders if nobody got say the office. If nobody had to say the office in the initial throw of the dice in the start of the game. Let's do it fast so I can because there is someone here in the house that wants to sleep and I'm talking, so it's a no. At the start, in the start of the game. Those are just like NPC families. They don't do anything basically. They are just there as a placeholder until someone kicks them out. They start with, let's say, like legitimacy of 50 and you can kick them out rather easily because to kick someone out of an office and have a bigger chance to succeed, you need to have the 25 lower. And then I will put like families can have let's say permanent perks. Each perk takes certain amount of points determined by the character creation, that was it. Family creation, D20 you use. I'm just writing it down super quickly so I don't forget tomorrow. I can have permanent perks. Each perk takes a certain amount of points determined by the family creation. Using a 20 or a D5 maybe. I think a D5 would be better if you think about. Oh my god, my face. Bananas. I'm going crazy bananas. I have starry eyes. Yay! There we go. Actually, we use a D5 for this one, so it's not like a lot of points, and it's more easy to like, you know, do it like sort out. So each perk takes a certain amount of points determined by the family creation using 5, and then we're gonna have yeah, each perk. Perks can be changed. Perks or traits or culture, whatever. Perks can be changed mid-game by characters' actions. This perk is public, actually. This perk first, there is going to be a difference between knowable traits and unknowable traits. So these perks are public knowledge and can be changed mid-game by characters' actions, although it will cost them fortune. I mean, like money. Will say like fortune, prestige, and other stuff. Prestige, fame, credibility. Actually, so a better one. So fortune, credibility. I would say would be a good thing to like replace prestige, but prestige is so good. The idea of prestigious characters. Prestige. Fortune, prestige, and legitimacy. Popularity, and what's the other one? Fortune. Actually, prestige, I will take it away. I will replace it with popularity. So fortune, popularity. Fortune, popularity, and or thing, and or fortune, popularity, and well, general stability inside the house, like loyalty inside the house, loyal NPC loyalty to the house, to the family. NPC loyalty to the family. There we go. That's will be the thing. The idea for this one is, for example, you start a game and you pick like a, let's say, a paragon of justice kind of family. Like every single member of the family has like up there, like super rigid standards of like what is just, etc., etc. So they have certain bonus and certain limitations. But then you find out that that way of doing stuff is actually detrimental to your cause because you're freaking like other players are all plotting against you and all your honesty is actually a problem. So you might want to just change that perk for another one, for anything. The only thing is that when you change a perk in this situation, I imagine the system will be like, you want to change, you gotta change one perk at a time. And when you do, you throw throw a dice, and depending on where the dice rolls, you will get like, unless the perk was only 1 point, you will get a +1. So you can choose a perk that costs 2 points, or you will get a -1. So if you had like a perk that was 2 points, you will suddenly get a perk of 1 point in exchange for the one of the two. So you will actually be like frick. Or you can get one of the 3 points that is like the big one. That's how it would work. That's that's how it would work, I would say. I need to figure out like what put where and stuff like that. This is all the thing that I will brainstorm later. But yeah, families can have permanent perks. There's an amount of points determined by the family creation. You see that 5. These perks are these. Wait, not these. These perks are public knowledge and can be changed mid-game by challenge actions. Although it will, not only challenge by well, important political moves. Important political moves. Although it will cost them fortune, popularity. Let's say legitimacy too, if they have an office. Legitimacy. And NPC loyalty. NPC loyalty. All the NPCs that are character controls are part of the family, so this will be understandable. Very well. Having done that, and that, I will say, let me say, oh, I have a very good idea for that. Then characters must choose a series of traits. A series of traits that comes with bonus and penalties, or the ability. Oh my freaking god, my English. The ability. There we go. Sorry, I brought it in Spanish because habilidad is like this. So yeah, the ability to perform special actions. Doesn't choose a series of traits that come with bonus and penalties, or the ability to perform a special actions. Actions. This is the important part, okay? Each character can make these traits. You can only choose, I will say 3. Let's keep it like Crusader Kings for now. Like a series of traits. Max 3. Well, minimum 3. Minimum and max 3. A total of 3. I don't know if 3, like written like this, is the freaking 3 or is the 3. Yeah, it's the number 3. Because I know there's a 3, like the tree, with the trunk and the leaves and everything. And my brain is always like 3, 3, 3, 3. Why does it have to be the same freaking vocabulary? Traits, a total of 3. Comes with bonus and penalties, or the ability to perform special actions during normal and special phases. Special. Each character can make these traits. Each character can make these traits secret, or not secret. It's like each character can mask. They can mask these traits with another one. So, for example, you create a brave character, but you mask that trait with the trait of coward. So, what you actually end up doing is to trick the other players into thinking your character is a coward, thus he will not necessarily do certain stuff. But as soon as you actually like unmask your character, or you are discovered, your whole like, let's say, credibility and popularity will take like a beating a lot because you were like, you were dishonest, I would say. That's how it works. So in this case, it's like each character can mask these traits with another one, if they so wish. But in the case of being discovered, or in the case of using a special action of the trait they have, the trait they really have under the mask, they will take a hit on their, let's say, popularity. That's the thing. I should have like fortune, popularity, legitimacy, credibility. That would be one. And NPC loyalty. Credibility works kind of like prestige, if you think about it. And then they will take a hit on their popularity. Either positive or negative, depending on how it's covered and how the action affects the city. On the mask, they will take a hit on their popularity, either positive or negative, depending on how it's discovered and how the action affects the city. For example, if your character is like, let's say, your character is a cow, is brave, but is masking himself as a coward, and he goes into a battle, say, and in the battle he exceeds because he excels because he actually like is brave, so he actually like, goes against everything everyone believes on him. That will be a positive hit on his popularity because like, holy shit, he dies like that. But at the same time, if you die in the same battle being a coward and being masked as a coward and trying to like being like, like let's say like you suddenly go around like trying to show yourself that you're brave, so you jump in the middle of the battle and your character is killed, then your next character will actually have to bear with the freaking thing of like having a reckless like predecessor that got himself killed in action. That will be like that. That's how I imagine the thing. Indeed. So if whatever you do is like has like a positive outcome in the city, your popularity will rise. But if it has a negative impact on the city, your popularity will diminish. But if any other character actually discovers what you really are, no matter what trait it is, you will take a small popularity hit. That's how I see it. They will take it on the popularity, either positive or negative, depending on that, or just negative in the case of being unmasked by another character. Yes, indeed. Indeed. We can even use the like, but for now let's keep it simple. I will not use like let's say virtues or things like that. All of this, by the way, if you have the honest trait, you cannot mask any other trait in your persona. But if you have like the deceitful trait and you mask it as honest, you can actually mask the rest better. But if the deceitful trait is the one other character discovers, then all your other like traits that you're trying to like show as the good guy will be like show like how they really are if you actually have them masked. So the hit on your popularity will be enormous. Plus, just being discovered to be deceitful instead of honest is just like I imagine in the game, like mechanically, it's a big hit on your popularity among the populace. The thing is that if someone is investigating you, like other character in their like secret like thing of like trying to basically dig the dirt out of you, finds out that you are like, let's say that you are like, tries to find out, you're honestly honest, and someone is trying to constantly investigating you, that would be a drain in their resources, because investigating someone will actually cost them money, like cost them wealth, and a turn, which is like a big thing. And the reality is that they will not do another action of subterfuge, and they can actually end up being discovered and being like signaled out, like, why are you like sending people in the middle of the night to the house of this other character just to see if they have dirty laundry? God damn, that's a hit, I will say, to the popularity and the legitimacy of the character, also the credibility. So it will be like it's like a 2020. The thing is that a deceitful character will always have like a better opportunity to actually discovering the whole thing. And deceitful character, I can imagine that if one of the plots that they could use each turn is to bribe the underworld, it's like a special thing they can do, so that any action taken against them, although this action is like, it's a deceitful one, you can take that action without unmasking yourself unless you're discovered. But if you manage to like, you know, like use the deceitful one and do like bribe the rest, like bribe the underworld, you will actually get like always the ability to discover when someone has in set turn plot against you and what they try to do, because the guy that they send against you will actually not fulfill their work. They will say they have failed, and they will actually like take money away from you, obviously, because you're paying them their good raise. And at the same time, they will be like, you know, you will know exactly who is plotting and what they're trying to do, which you can actually retaliate in the next turn and stuff like that. That's how I imagine the thing. It would be really cool. Obviously, the public like perks are known by the DM. The DM will have a character sheet, like let's say the real character sheet, and then the players will have like the public character sheet. That's how it will work. Not only that, but let's see. Yeah, there will be like crumbling families. This is something that I will do this. Then we have the family perks, and let's say like I don't want to say like holdings, but let's say like yeah, perks, like what is the family good for, and then we have family perks and how do you say this? Assets. Family perk and assets. Families can have permanent perks or assets. Let me just put all this like this. The assets, by the way, can be burned. I mean, other characters can actually go against your assets. Each perk that takes a certain number of points determined by the family creation is unit 5. Same with assets. Although these ones can be acquired. Let's say these ones can be acquired during the game using money or leverage. Leverage is like you use like your office to get something that is not supposed that you will be getting. It's personal gain, and that will actually increase corruption and instability. You know, thing. The corruption system will work like the thing that doing like underworld plotting is easier, but at the same time, each underworld plot that you do will increase instability by a lot more than if you just did it with a normal kind of corruption or a lower level of corruption. Although with more corruption comes like more opportunities for the families to do like shady stuff. At the same time, higher levels of corruption have a higher impact on stability, and if stability again 0 or a certain negative number, the city will crumble and the game will reach a game over, which is how it goes. Using money or leverage, but it can be destroyed by other players. Legal or illegal actions each turn. There we go. Because you can try like a hostile takeover, or you can try another thing, that sort of thing. By the way, I will put here, if two characters have the same, let's say, same type of asset, they will each roll, let's say, like, let's say each will roll a d20. Okay, yes, a d20. They will each roll a d20. The one with the highest number actually no, a d10 will be a d10, and the one with the highest number it will basically, like, let's say, like, it will be like the owner of a certain amount of that particular thing. It's complicated to think now that I think about it. Let me think it. A d10. The one with the highest number. If the combination of both results don't amount to 10 or more, we'll then take session. We'll then have the output of that amount by 10. What I mean by this is, for example, two characters choose to have like a trading company as an asset. Two of them decide to have a trading company on, let's say, grain trading company, or a luxury trading company, something like that. Both characters, like two separate families, have the same asset. They will both roll a dice then, and that will like determine the amount of market quota each of them control inside the city. So, for example, if both of them roll a 5, then it's 50-50. So, if that asset produces like 10 gold per turn or something like that, or 10 gold each every 5 turns, each of the players will get 5 and 5, and they can try through the whole thing to undermine the other and take their asset, and take like slowly their asset, or completely, depending. And if one of them rolls an 8 and the other one rolls a 4, then one of them is going to be 80% and the other one is going to be 20. And if one of them rolls a 1 and the other one rolls a 2, that means that ones have 20%, the other one have 10%, and the rest is in Crumbling Family's hands, which is like that NPC kind of like family that's not necessarily there, but it's there. And they can actually like try to take over the NPC family thing that is easier to take than other player stuff, which that will be like the case. So I will say, like, if two characters have the same type of asset, they will each roll a d10. In the case that the higher number is less than 5, 5. Then the players get that amount plus 10 that amount multiplied by. Actually, that could be a good mechanic for everything now. Think about it. Not necessarily if they have the same asset. It will be just every asset. Every asset should have that. Actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, that will be. Oh, that's super cool. Hey. So. Perks or assets, or let's say personnel assets. No, temporary assets. Let's be like assets, just assets. Perks, and it's talk about permanent because they're not permanent. Families can have perks or assets. Each perk takes a certain number of points determined by the family creation. 5. Same with assets, although these ones can be acquired during the game using money or leverage. But can be destroyed by but can be taken away, actually, not destroyed. Oh, well, destroyed too. But destroy, it will be like more like instability created. What? No. Asset. Asset is like a business. That's an asset. So, for example, two players decide to, let's put this one because it's whatever the asset. You have like the asset of the slave. And two players have that. So both of them grab a d10 and throw it on the table. If one of them gets a 5 and the other gets less than that, one will have 50% and the other one will have whatever other number he has, and the rest will be put into like a public for the rest of the other characters in the game. That is what I call a crumbling family, so it's like a NPC character. Just there and you can take their asset. And they will share like quota. That's how it works. So you might want to go for the most profitable like asset at the beginning of the game, but if another player goes for it too, you will be competing with another player to get like all the efficiency out of the asset. Because it will be shared between two players and a third party that is part of the NPC world. For example, if one of them gets a 2 and the other one gets a 3, one of them will have 20% of the asset, the other one will have 30% of the asset, and the remaining amount will be part of like this, let's say, bourgeoisie, like the merchant. And they can each turn try to overtake that share of the market, either held by the other player or held by the NPC. Take away the asset from the percentage of the asset from the NPC each time by a multiple of 10. It's easier than taking it away, let's say, like. So at the beginning, all players will be trying to like secure the monopoly of their own asset, or even reach to let's say like an agreement with the other player, like, okay, I have 40%, you have 60, don't take mine and I will not take yours. Because I have other assets too. Like I have actually like a farming business, trade. I have the 60% of the trade and I will have my farms over there. Don't try to take my assets and we will have no problem. That's how the game would go. Until one of them could actually like undermine the other by using a subterfuge action that takes away the asset of another player, a percentage, a 10% of their asset, and throws it back into the end. Not to him, because that would be obvious who did it. Oh, I guess the one who won it. But in this case, you can actually like try to go to like say to another merchant, for example, I give you money by that. If nobody discovers you, then the other player is just like, God damn it, they took away 10% of my stuff. And if multiple players do the same move,
you can actually undermine another character, another family entirely. If you have 5 players and 4 of them in the same turn do the same thing and the 4 of them succeed, then one of the characters that suddenly had like 60% of the most profitable business in the city suddenly gets a minus 40% out of that. I only have 10%. And suddenly it's like, what the fuck, man? And everybody and all the other ones can jump into the boat of trying to acquire the asset from the NPC kind of thing.
So it's like a whole like commerce and stuff that it's going to happen in the background,
and it's going to like create all of these layers of complexity of character-driven actions, player-driven actions, I mean, that everybody can take in order to basically get their goal done. There is also another thing that I want to touch in this game, and that is limited money. Like, money is from a pool. Like, for example, there is 10,000 coins in total in the city, and they are distributed among the general population and the treasury of the state. And there is actually a legacy that is like an objective that you could actually get in your hands. That is to, like, it's called distribution of wealth. It's like you need to actually make the general population richer than the other families. Like, distribution of wealth needs to be like everybody has a lot of money. So you will be like constantly doing donations to charities or certain like families, just to get that money like going up into their balance. And then you could have other characters that is like their objective is actually to amass wealth, which means that they want everyone poor, and their objective is to hold like, let's say, 90% of the total money. So they will try actually to do the opposite, take away the money from the people by raising taxes and stuff.
so it's like
You have objectives, and your objectives are all about the destination of this city in the history of that.
and there is even an objective that is to just destroy the city.
Your objective is to lower the stability of the city below the threshold where the game goes game over. But you win if you do that. Because your objective was to be an agent of chaos and destruction. Get the city aflame. From inside or outside, because you can get it out.
And the characters that you play, you actually have traits.
Let's say like brave, you can change it like a little bit like you say king. You're brave, sadistic, stuff like that. But what you can do in this game is to obviously the guy who is like the DM, the dungeon master, the one who knows everything about the game, what is happening, like, will know the reality of every single player. But every single player can choose to mask their traits with another trait. So they can choose, like, to be, for example, let's put this one example. Let's say they are sadistic, and they actually choose to say to the rest of the players that their character is high, while he tortures people. Or they can choose to be like, they are kind, but they think that they are selling to the rest of the players because it comes with advantages to say that their character is. What happened, honey? I know happens to me. So you can have, like, for example, but if your character, this is the important part. If your character is honest, you cannot mask any trait. But if your character is deceitful, you can pick to be honest as a mask and mask all the other traits more efficient. But as soon as they discover any of your traits as being false, all your traits will be like sparking out, all of them at the same time. And that will mean a hit your reputation with the people and your legitimacy off. Because your life is shit and everybody saw your shit. And other players can investigate other players during their turns. In the turns, they can throw a subterfuge one and send like private investigators, see the dirty laundry of players. And if they discover it, they can either like say it out loud or keep it for themselves. You discover X character statistic. You want to tell it to the other players and the public? Yes, no. What they do, the consequences they have. Because you will have that card forever until the other character dies. Because you can go to the other character and say, "Hey, I don't want you. You want me to say it? You want me to say it? No, then blackmail other players. For that, I would love to have like a. In the case of doing it on physical, I will say this game will be a lot of like letters exchange. Like, I'm talking obviously, but more like exchanging letters because it's a game of deceit. So you need to deceive other players to think what you are not, or even you need to like try to like forward your own agenda, even if it's good. Trying to get like the best outcome for the city if that is your objective. But you need to be doing like yeah, the dungeon master, that would be cool. You give it to the dungeon master and the dungeon master like pass it on. The thing is this. This is what I say. If you actually hire a career system, but there is a character that has actually sabotaged the career system, your letter will actually go also to another character that has actually sabotaged the message. So another character will actually read it too. That's why I think this game will actually be better played if you have like an app to like back it up with like a direct message setting. And that way, yeah, it's just a message setting. Like you put a room and you can send secret messages to characters. Like, that's how it goes. That was really good. Or just use it. That's how it goes. It's like super important. And you can even just like decide to reveal the other characters like real persona just to damage the reputation. Because you can actually weaponize your own mask in your favor when revealing. Because if you have actually a trait that is like positive per se, for example, let's say you are a brave character, but you mask yourself as a coward, and then you go to battle and you suddenly come out like a freaking like hero of old, then your popularity will actually rise, and everybody will see this as a brave man. When you were always brave, you must start like pretending to be a coward, keeping your face, like not be like all out there and being like super vulnerable. But once you are brave, you can never back down from a challenge. That's the problem. So, for example, if another character like challenges your character to something, whatever it is, you cannot say no because you're brave. You need to take like that thing. But if you mask it with power, you can actually go against that. But if you are masked, you can never go back. Once you have like your real trait out there, it's out there for you. And the thing of doing things contrary to like your persona, it's that they will be like not expressive, because I don't want to have a stress system, not yet. Because that's too much, I would say. So what I will do is actually like they are accumulative. Every time you do something according to your mask and not your real trait, you will have like a let's say like a line that the master can track off how many times you have done that. And once the mask is taking off, that amount of times you did things against your true personality will actually multiply the effect of the penalty. Uh-huh. Indeed. In this case, it's the dungeon master. And you can mark it. You don't need to mark it. I was, but the problem is that, you know what the problem is with that, with mark it yourself, is that if you go against what your character would do, and you have yourself to mark your thing, other players can look at the mark. They know that you are actually using persona, which means that they can actually just tell investigate it one day or another to get it. That's why I say that it should be the dungeon master who is actually putting tabs on this thing. Because the dungeon master is like the game mechanics. Oh yeah, if you have an app, yes. Yeah, if you have an app, yes. If you have an app, you can actually have like a tab for it. But the thing is that, you know, it's like, yeah, if you have an app, you can do an app. Yeah, private message. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that indeed. But the dungeon master will know because he will know every character. So he will know who's honest and who is a bit. So if the character is constantly like lying all the time, being honest, and everybody believes it because it's honest, but the dungeon master will be like, yeah, discover it's like -10 popularity multiplied by 50 because you lie 50 times until now, boom, character is destroyed. It's like that. So that's how it will be. Players or enemies. First one by a legal owner. The second one using an not illegal but it's illegal slash sub action. Subterfuge is spyware. It's illegal. You're welcome. Okay. Number less than 5, then the players get amount multiplier by the multiplied by 10. 10. In the case that the higher number is less than 5, then the players get the higher number is less than 5, then the players get their roll multiplied by 10, and the rest will be on NPCs. And you can also actually add your assets also come, but you can actually like try to open. There is a lot of things that you can do, and everything will like increase, decrease corruption, increase, decrease stability, increase, decrease popularity, and all of that. Increase and decrease population. It will be like a constant like battle for the soul of the city. Depending on your objective, lack thereof, you can actually try to get something. For example, there is an objective that is like have all the positions of the state filled with planets. It's competing. But when you have like, you can only control one office. You don't have one. And the rest can be controlled by, let's say like, an NPC, another family or a client. But this character will always have like a penalty to their action that you ask them. They could even like go against your order. Because when you not the dungeon master, but rather your roles. Because when you put someone else in a position, either because you are not good at it, and being in a position of power and not being good at it could be actually could be a shorter way to your downfall. And you put someone else. That someone else, you will have to roll a dice. Actually, 2 times. One is for their loyalty, and the other one is for their, let's say, efficiency for the work they are given. So you can have someone really loyal but that sucks at their job. And sucking at their job means that it could be either, like you could say to them something like, I don't want to risk, for example, you assassinated another player's character. Now, if the player is playing with the air, that's an assassination. Everyone knows it was an assassination, but you weren't this up. But you have, let's say, your cousin ruling like the justice. So, and he's really shitty. But he's extremely low. So you can actually go and tell him like, what would you do in that case? Would you tell him not investigate or to investigate? Because if you're telling him not investigate, it will be pretty obvious that he's going to investigate. Oh. And if you say to him investigate, he will actually fumble it, but with less penalties because he's some people that try to best actually investigate. But he will fail, probably. But if you say to him, do not investigate it, it will be too obvious and it will be so easy to wrong people. But if you say to him, investigate it, not only the other players will be like, okay, so then he can investigate. Maybe he did it, he did it. No, maybe he didn't. This stupid guy over there with power. So it will be like, the fuck? The problem is that maybe your winning losses in season points that they finger at you, but you, and you're fucked. Because then they, yeah, it's a percentage. Exactly. It's how it works. You throw dice and that's. I can sleep like this. I'm glad I'm helping you sleep, Savage. I'm glad I'm helping you sleep. I'm glad that my voice is so calming. You're welcome, Savage. I'm glad. So that's the whole thing. That's the game. And I'm actually like already like thinking about expansion, like a religious expansion, a culture expansion. And that would be for the future. The first one I want to bring out. The thing that I would like to have is maybe illustrations. Like a company because there's a lot of cards. They have a generic back. It's just to have like a, you know, a little thing. Hello, Nia. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Oh yeah, of course. How are you doing, Nia? Yeah, it's a late stream because I'm inspired. I'm creating like a. I'm creating an RPG that I want to actually like play with all of you guys once it's finished. It's going to be really interesting. It's basically like let's say it's an RPG completely where you create like you create a family in a city state and you will. Or a city, like the setting can be whatever you want. Like it could be steampunk, it could be fantasy, etc.
and your objective will be decided by a set of cards. It's kind of like tag or risk. I don't know you play. It's sometime in the past maybe, and you will have like different like things to like do and stuff. So it will be really cool. It doesn't work tomorrow. Yes, that's great. That's great. My wife doesn't work tomorrow, also, but
Sick.
it's still sick. Today she went to work and it had to come back early because she was super sick. She wasn't feeling sick, so yeah, I had to go and look her up with that. What RPG are you playing though? I want to know. What was that amount of 10 or more? Yeah, the output of that amount like that. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Let me see. And the rest will be on the hand. And then if the highest number is more than 5. It's like this. The other way. And overworld table is more slice of life, but magic. I love it. 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 It's nothing better. That's one of my best meals. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I adore it. I adore it. The revolve multiply by 10, and the rest will be on an NPCs on a non-player control pool. That's best. Easy answers. Non-player control. Oh my god. Or a hungry center that wishes to break fate itself. So I love it. I love it. The kind of a Greek tragedy. That's awesome. You can never destroy fate. Fate, fate cannot be destroyed. That's an anathema. You cannot destroy fate. Oh my god. But I love it. I adore it. What happened if it was his fate to destroy fate? Wouldn't he be maybe like fulfilling fate? Complicated, isn't it? It's like you were never truly free. I wanted you to destroy fate. Okay, did beat the crap out of the avatar of karma. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, I love it. But it was his fate to break to beat it. Well, actually, this is the actually that's the thing. Because it's a role-playing game, it is supposed to be like local. And one of them actually like steps down and says that. Now, they will become what is called a crumbling family. A crumbling family, it's a family with no charges in it. But they don't take any significant action other than just like having a set amount of like influence on the computer, and they can be overthrown by the players. So that's actually fun. In fact, if you start the game and not a single player manage to take office, those places will be actually like occupied by NPCs, characters of random family. Yes.
Oh no! I don't like that idea because no. It's actually I prefer if the player is like the player is leaving. No, nothing actually. It becomes a crumble family. Like his whole asset stuff goes into what would be like the gray area of the game where it's easier to take forward. This way you will not have like a favorite among players. One of the players goes away and he has a friend and he uses him. And then that character becomes super powerful because he suddenly got like the whole share of a whole plane. The best thing will be like all the things go into a gray area and it's a program. The friend is going to fight for his last friend thing, and the other players have to. That's why I don't want to leave that kind of like, let's say, like power to gods that are going away. If they go away, they become a family. They can then come back. Like a player can come back, and they can reinstate like their own family. But they will not have either assets or anything. They will just have to like compete with like base wealth. I don't know about it. But they will not like, cover anything or unless one of them is like, oh, here you have 10% of the share of the spice trade. That's how. So if a player leaves the game, it's like the system. No, if nobody gets the stuff, like get the stuff is still no longer his, but it's an easier time to actually discover it because it has a gray area that is easy to grab. But the thing is that there should be a constant. You can't be like leaving a whole set of the mechanics of the game locked because one person decides to take a 2-session lead. Like maybe the dungeon master could keep like track of that asset when other players are taking it apart, and when the other person comes back, if said asset wasn't completely taken over, if we had like 60% of the spice trade and the players managed to grab from the pool of the gray area 50%, it would come back and have 10. But the game can't stop and the engine can't stop because putting that sort of like hard stop actually takes away all the drama. The idea is drama. The idea is to create a game for drama, for the whole drama of the situation. That's why, in the case of like players going away, that's problem. I have everything to hide. Oh my! Oh my god! Oh my god! Let me read now what I was saying. It says he's free. What is the simplest and desired feeling in a way? Yeah, I get it completely. So that's how I was written down this thing though. If the highest number is more than 5, the one with the highest number, the one with the highest number takes that number multiplied by 10. And if the other dice is less, and if the other dice number amounts to less than 10, then the
extra is goes into the non-player control. There we go. That's sorted out. Perfect. Spirits and assets are public knowledge and can be changed mid-game. Can be changed during, not mid, because mid sounds like a point in time. During, and no, these no. The perks are public knowledge and can be changed during the game by important political moves. Although it will cost them fortune, popularity, legitimate credit, and loyalty. Actually, no, loyalty. And then, but. Characters can choose. Players can choose to hide their ownership of part of the assets as non-player as part of the non-player control. Sell money and a percentage, actually, and a fraction of that earning will go into the, let's say, illegal treasury of that family. Yes! Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I like this. I like this a lot. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, this is really cool. It's really, really cool. That idea is super cool. Oh, yeah. But if discovered is discovered, please consider it crime. Very well, love it. Series of traits. Each target can mask this trait with another one if they so wish. Use some of their actions. But each time they act the way of act their masquerade, their masquerade out, they get let's say like a tab. They get a tab that will apply the penalty or bonus when or if discovered. Yes, indeed. Actually, each character can mask these traits not with another one, but with the opposite. If they so wish, and use some of their actions and use their actions. But each time they act against their true trait, they get a point of... Actually, stress sounds fine. So we'll put a point of stress. With a point of stress and a multiplier that will increase the penalty or bonus applied when applied, not when, applied if the character trait is unmasked. I love it. Yes, this is incredible. My god, I'm creating something good here. I'm creating something good here. I love it. It's something that I love. So let's do a character. It's points and S and S. Very well, very well. Stress. A multiplier that will increase the penalty or bonus applied to the character if the target rate is unmasked. Either by themselves or other means. Perfect. There we go. That's awesome. That is awesome. I have a lot of ideas. Okay, but I think that's enough for today. It's like I have been like going into this freaking rabbit hole of ideas, and tomorrow we're gonna continue. I'm not going to lose this hyper focus at all. So tomorrow the stream is going to start with this, and I will see if I can play something after it, because I'm totally like on the roll here. Yes, and I want to finish it now because I feel like I have done enough. I feel like I have done enough. And I'm satisfied with all the things I have done so far. Like a lot. And I will continue here. It will be really cool. Tomorrow we're gonna go into more details. Like trades and then actions and all that. I believe I already put them up here. Yes, here. So everything of that is okay. Min Mark is that boosty. Totally. Totally. Indeed. For example, like I say, you can totally like act like you're brave, well, act coward until there is a situation that requires a hero, and then act as a hero, and everybody will see you as a superhero. Like that will be like the whole idea here. But the problem is that if you are like building this up and another character actually finds out that you are actually faking your cowardice in order to be a hero on the end of the road, everybody will remember you, not because you did an amazing feat of heroism because you were brave or a good soul, but everybody will remember you for each time you were a freaking coward being able to have done like you could have done something else. That will be like the whole idea. It's like that. That's the idea here. That's why you could like, it could be a really good tool to like have your character's popularity skyrocket, even though your character will be stressed out to hell and back. And I will put 1 to 10 points of stress, and depending on that you will have like a dice throw that will determine if your character just dies of heart attack or not, something like that. But you could have like a big reward or a big freaking penalty if another character discovers you or decides to rat you out instead of blackmail you. If another player discovers you and instead of going like, hey, I know what you are, give me X amount of share, let's make a deal. But instead, if it's like, hey, this guy is actually a brave guy, he's actually acting as a coward about that, I will tell it in the public forum, well, everybody will hate you for it. Like, everybody will hate your character for acting as a coward when he was actually brave. They would think that he was lazy or something like that, and your reputation will be tarnished to hell and back. Even though you were building up to something cool, you might just have as well just destroy your reputation completely. But there are other traits that you might just want to hide because you know they're negative by nature. For example, deceitful. If you have deceitful out there, everybody will know that you are going to be plotting against everybody, because that will give you, like, you have bonus abilities to do in your playthrough. But if you, like, decide to, like, being honest as being deceitful, nobody will necessarily, like, doubt of you. It will be really cool, it will be really cool, it will be really cool, indeed. But that will be, like, something to discuss tomorrow. Right now, I want to, like, rest a little bit and maybe, like, think this through a little more in my own brain for a moment. And then tomorrow I will come back and I will continue with this. And then I want to celebrate, like, a proto kind of game and try to get everyone on board. Like, well, at least the friends that use a mic, let's say. So we will see what happens. I'm going to create tomorrow the basic, like, character traits, the list of character traits, the list of family perks, the list of assets a city could have, more or less. And then, of course, I'm going to deep down a little more on the distribution of what it does, to choose the offices in power and the structure, the form of government. That actually the characters, you as a character, you could do a big move and try to overthrow the Republic and install another form of government and have, like, more leverage for that kind of government. If you manage to, like, put it into your place, you will actually be able to fill the offices with your friends, I would say. Because you will need actually more than one player in order to do these kind of things that I'm saying, like overthrow, like, a republic for a monarchy and stuff like that, or a monarchy for a republic. You need more than one player to do this. One player can actually pull it off, yes, but it will be like a nat 20 or nothing. It's like complicated business, I will say. And depending on a lot of things, I will actually create a couple more of, like, variables that will make sometimes the idea of changing the government into a way to avoid early game over because stability is so low. If stability is super low, changing the way of government for another one will actually give, like, a little boost to stability. It will reset it to 0 maybe and have, like, a boost, and then have, like, a debuff that is nostalgia that will actually, like, give, like, extra amount of, like, stability loss. So it will be like you do a revolution with other players to save, like, the city. Well, for 5 turns, you will have, like, this little boost that freezes the stability to the middle point, 50. And then, after that, you will start have, like, the people have second thoughts. Like, the people are, like, uneasy because of the change. So, for 5 or more turns, the whole let's say, like, the whole, like, stability will have, like, each thing that, like, attacks the stability, it will have, like, a 50% extra or a 100% extra, like, impact. Which means that even if you're going against a player that is constantly seeking a way of destroying the city, and you do this, like, you destroy, like, the previous government and put another one in order to save the city, you might just as well doom it if you do not discover if someone is actively trying to destroy the city as your objective. That's how it goes. And that would be, like, the idea of, like the government, I would say. It will be, like, really, really cool indeed. And you can do, like another reform It's a reform, I will say, if all the players are okay with it, and it's a revolution if there is one or more players that are against the revolution. The revolution is like, it will have like this moment of like, first it's going to be frozen, and then it's going to be like with a big buff to the negative. But if it's a reformation, it will just reset the whole thing to 50 and just like start over again. But 50 is not necessarily a good number. A lot of things can happen during the game, as in my mind, to like lower that amount to a lot. And you cannot do another reform or revolution until 10 turns later, which means that you might as well just have a game over even if you reform the thing. That's how I see it. It's gonna be. I'm going to write that down actually. Reformation. Reform government. Reform government or overthrow it in a revolution. Save to reset, actually, to reset stability to half its max path. From government is one of the let's say important moves that you can do once every 5 turns. The thing is that, think about it, it resets, okay, the stability to half its value, which means that if someone succeeds in a revolution in a time of stability, even though they will win like a lot of places in the government for a couple of like for the first turns, the problem will be that if you had like 80 stability, you're now down to 50. And then you will have like all the other problems if not all the players were okay with it. So that's how it goes. It's really cool if you think about it. It's like super like ooh la la, all the possibilities that I'm creating. Jesus Christ. It's one of the important moves, or it's one of the important moves. If all players agree to the plot, then is a form and the gob and the stability sets middle and can work as normal, but if it's violent, I will go with it. Revolution, stability will be frozen for 5 turns and then have a big debuff for another 5 turns. Okay, we'll keep it like. Okay, it's time to go to sleep, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much everybody for watching. I hope you had a blast. Thank you, Savage. Thank you, Nya. Thank you also, Brian P, for being here for a moment. I know I wasn't there just when you came by. And thank you, Sayway. Thank you, everyone. And I will see you all tomorrow with another one of these, like, creating stuff. And I'm glad I'm being able to help you sleep, Savage, which is super important. So, yeah, we're gonna continue this later. I wonder if I should sell this game when it's done, completely done. I don't know. It will be a good way to make money now that I think about it. I don't need money. Obviously, for the members of the channel, it will be free, but... my God. Well, see ya. Bye.